Salts are often applied to ensure safety and traction in icy conditions. But have you considered where all of this salt goes, or its effects other than staining your shoes? In 2021, a University of Toronto study found that in Canada, approximately 7 million tons of salt is applied annually to roads. That's a lot of salt. But why does this matter? I'm glad you asked. If you've ever been in the ocean, a saltwater pool, or even gargled with saltwater, you know just how different saltwater is from fresh water. Road salt is typically sodium chloride, NaCl. However, other chloride salts are often used. When soluble salts dissolve in a solution, they break apart into charged ions known as cations and anions. Salts naturally occur in ecosystems. However, when they build up in soils, they can cause huge problems. Salt that is applied to roads and sidewalks typically ends up dissolving in runoff water, and these ions can enter water bodies and accumulate in the soil. Salt impacts drinking water and affects aquatic ecosystems by changing the water chemistry. Salts can cause stratification in water bodies, preventing vertical mixing of the water column, leading to dead zones near the bottom of lakes. While salts are essential for plant growth, high concentrations of salt in the soil-water solution inhibit plant growth, making it harder for plants to uptake water and can even be toxic to plants. So you may be able to imagine why applying 7 million tons of salt in Canada annually is a bad thing for ecosystems. But wait, it gets worse. While soil salinity refers to salts in the soil-water solution, the dissolved floating ions in the water, ions can be absorbed from the soil-water solution to individual particles, or colloids. When a large amount of sodium ions, relative to calcium and magnesium ions, becomes absorbed to the colloids, the soil can become what is known as sodic. Sodic soils are terrible. Dispersion happens in sodic soils where the physical structure of the soil aggregates breaks down, degrading micro and macro pores that allow the soil to breathe and retain water, also leaving the soil vulnerable to erosion. There are a few ways saline and sodic soils can be restored, such as improving drainage and irrigating with water containing extremely low amounts of salts, to allow the salts to leach down through the soil profile. Sodic soils are harder to deal with. Calcium and magnesium can be added to decrease the dominance of sodium on the cation exchange complex. Organic matter can be added to improve soil aggregate structure along with reducing soil tillage. Alternatives to road salt include sand, sugar beet juice, and there are some environmentally friendly compounds like calcium magnesium acetate. While sodium chloride road salt is relatively cheap, about 13 times cheaper per ton than calcium magnesium acetate, it is extremely corrosive and contains the sodic soil-inducing sodium. We ought to consider the implications of using de-icing salt and at the very least be extremely efficient with its use. I hope you've learned about some of the effects of salt and are more conscious in applying salt around your home or business.